And good evening, everyone. Welcome. It is time for Bronco baseball here tonight from El Dorado. Game 3 of a 3-game set with the Liberal BeeJays. Great to have you tuned in tonight. Kurt Caden, Gary's on stats, Jimmy's on PA. We're ready to roll and hopefully bring home a victory here tonight. Boy, it's been a frustrating this is the sixth game of a real key stretch that we pointed out back on Friday. And the Broncos right now are 1-4 in those 6 games, and they hope to get it to 2-4 here tonight. Let's take a look at the batting order for Liberal and the starting defense for El Dorado. For Liberal, Jonathan Tapia. Boy, a big at bat by Tapia last night. We'll talk more about that shortly. He leads off. Dane Simon second. Brock Burton bats third. Peyton Johnson fourth. Jack Crowell fifth. And Sean Arnold sixth. Justin Marino seventh. Braxton Fulford eighth. R.J. Pearson bats ninth for Liberal. For El Dorado in the field, Jordan Anstandig's in left, Pete Caravala in center, and Austin Toth is in right. John Sorensen over at third base, Caleb Littlejim at short, Tanner Sheets at second, Madison Solomon at first. Ethan Payne is behind the plate for El Dorado, and pitching, it's Brady Tackett. Brady Tackett, 6'3", 210 out of Cisco Junior College. And he will face Jonathan Tapia, Dane Simon, and Brock Burton first here tonight. And the first pitch, Tapia squares, and it's right in there for strike one. So a quick strike by Tackett. Right-handed batter. And that pitch is upstairs, 1-1. Our first pitch temperature tonight, 95 degrees, and it feels like 101. Curveball stayed upstairs, 2-1. Winds are out of the southeast at 9 miles an hour. Our dew point, again, rather high. When dew points are in the upper 60s and 70s, it's pretty humid, and it's that way again today. Sunset scheduled for 8:51. That one low, 3-1. Not much change in the forecast either for the next few days. Upper 90s and sunny. Tapia 3-1. It was Tapia who came in last night. There's a strike, 3-2. Tapia came in and pinch hit for R.J. Pearson in the 12th inning. He led off with a walk, and wouldn't you know, he would come around and score one of the 2 runs in the 12th for Liberal. 3-2 is a little bit low. Not a bad spot, but low. So a leadoff walk. So with a runner at first, here's Dane Simon. Dane Simon, 343 hitter. And that pitch a little bit high. Ball 1. Simon, a right-handed batter. Simon, 70 at-bats, 24 hits. It was Simon last night who stole second, and then a 2-out single by Peyton Johnson got Liberal on the board at 2-1. That was a big stolen base. And the pitch, and that's inside. Look out. And Ethan Payne's going to go out and talk to Brady Tackett. Brady Tackett, as I said, out of Cisco. He's from Windhorst, Texas. And after a rough first start, he has been really good for El Dorado. Numbers just keep plummeting for him. He's pitched 30 innings, given up 23 hits, a 4.80 ERA, 12 walks, 18 strikeouts. And Tackett comes in with a record of 3-1. He and Gabe Littlejim, by record, have the best of the pitching for El Dorado, both at 3-1. 3 balls and a strike here to Simon. And the pitch, and that one is inside. So back-to-back walks. And Brock Burton will stand in. And another visit. So here's Brock Burton. In last night's game, Burton walked twice and was 0 for 4. And he squares the bunt. That's high. Ball 1. So Tackett having old trouble finding the zone here early on. Tackett has his sign. Solomon creeping in at first and swinging is Burton, and he fouls it off. One ball, one strike here to Burton. The pitch, and that one's hit right at Solomon, and it went under his glove into right field. Here comes Tapia. He will score. And first to third is Simon. And that'll be an error on Maddox Solomon. Oh, boy, that could have gotten the Broncos 2 outs right there. Instead, 2 runners remain on and a run in. So an error on Solomon. No RBI. The BeeJays still without a hit, but their first 3 have reached. 2 walks and an error. And they lead 1-0. And here's Peyton Johnson, who's had a good week here in El Dorado. 3 hits here Monday, a couple more last night. And the pitch, and that one's bounced at Solomon. He's got it, takes a look at third. He'll back up and look for the base. Now he's got it. Moving to second is Burton, but that's 1 out. And that'll bring up Jack Crowell. So Solomon gets another chance after the error, and he makes good on it. Here's Jack Crowell. Crowell from Portland, Oregon. Goes to Gonzaga University. Runners at second and third. The corners are in for El Dorado. That one in the turf, and Payne stops it. So 1 ball and no strikes. Crowell, .314 hitter this summer, 11 for 35, or 11 for 35, yeah. Crowell with a couple of doubles, 5 runs batted in. Here's the pitch, and that one caught the corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Broncos have been home 8 nights in a row. Tomorrow night we'll be off. Although Gary's doing something, Jimmy's going to sumos, and I've got job duties, but none of us will be here in the press box tomorrow night. Thankfully. 2 balls and a strike. Look forward to your comments on the chat window. If you're watching here on YouTube, you can also email me. It's cadenbroadcasting@gmail.com. Love to hear your thoughts and comments. Who are you watching? Who are you cheering for? And hopefully everything looks good on your computer tonight. 2-1, and lifted foul out of play. May try to get a little more of... Let's see, more of first base. There we go. Two balls and 2 strikes here to Crowell. Right-handed batter, the pitch. And that got past Payne. It ricochets card. They'll throw over to Tackett, but Tackett was late getting there. Pretty good collision there. Brady was a step late getting home. And so that one scores on a wild pitch. And it's 3-2 now to Jack Crowell. So a run scores on an error. Now a run scores on a wild pitch. And things off to an inauspicious start here for El Dorado tonight. Here comes a 3-2. And the pitch. And that one's lifted shallow left field. Anstandig coming in. Little Jim calling it. Caleb's got it. And no advance from the runner at third. And a nice job by Payne to block it. So, 2 away now. And here comes Sean Arnold. We haven't seen Arnold in this series yet, have we? The first run is earned because of that wild pitch. Gotcha. Gary knows. Well, Liberal still does not have a hit. Here's the pitch, and that one in there for a strike to Arnold. Sean Arnold from Bryan, Texas, goes to Incarnate Word. We did see Sean. He was here on Monday night. And Arnold scored twice, went 1 for 2. He was the guy that walked 3 times in a row to end the game. His last 3 at-bats were all walks. There's a ball and a strike. So a ball and a strike here. A little warmer tonight than it was last night, and it's going to keep getting a little bit warmer each day here in South Central Kansas. Here's a 1-1, and that's in there for strike 2. El Dorado went with the orange vest, black sleeves underneath, and Liberal with their mainly blue tops with red on their sleeves, white numerals, red trim, blue stirrups. So a ball and 2 strikes here to Sean Arnold. He's the 6th batter of the inning, and the pitch dives low, 2-2. It's a good eye by Arnold. 2 walks and an error, a wild pitch, and 2 runs are in here for the BeeJays. Both these teams have each claimed the NBC trophy 5 times. Two and two. Fastball and missing. 3-2. Boy, they look good. So a full count now to Sean Arnold. Over at third is Brock Burton. Tackett has his sign. And he comes home, and that's fouled off. Of course, Gary, as Brady's kind of struggled during this first inning, I'm reminded of Gabe Littlejim here Sunday night against Hayes. Really had a rough first 2 innings. Gave up 4 runs and then totally slammed the door. So this top of the first, not a death sentence by any stretch. And that pitch a little bit high. And Brady Tackett with a bit of a look in, just kind of wondering where that was because it had the plate, but it must have been high. Tell you what, I thought the umpire last night had a good strike zone, really few arguments, I thought, on his strike zone. Well, when you start squeezing that zone, it makes for a slower game. And first pitch swinging, a line drive into right field by Justin Marino. And it is 3-0 Liberal. So over to second base is Arnold. And that'll bring up the catcher, Braxton Fulford. And the Broncos, they've played so many games, 9 games, and this is their 9th game in 8 days. They just don't know how many arms they have to go to. They'd like to get a good outing here from Tackett. 12 innings last night didn't help things either. Reed Miller went 6 solid. Rustin Hayes in relief went 5. Here's the pitch, and that's going to hit him, and the bases are loaded. And here comes R.J. Pearson. By average, R.J.'s had a light hitting summer. He's hitting just 105, 2 for 19. His 10th game of the summer for Liberal. And a guy that The Broncos and Tackett desperately need to get out. 3-0 in favor of Liberal here in the top of the first inning. And the pitch from Tackett, and that's fouled off, strike one. R.J. Pearson from Moultrie, Georgia, goes to Oral Roberts University down in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Tackett winds and deals. The pitch is in the turf. Payne able to block that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Heartbreaking loss last night for El Dorado, but they had chances. It's hard to fault the effort. They had chances. 9 walks by Liberal pitching last night. Only one came around to score, which is really perplexing. And certainly frustrating for El Dorado. A 2-1, and that's low, 3-1. Boy, this is not the Brady Tackett that we have been seeing of late. He was sharp. His last outing was the first game of that doubleheader against Oklahoma City, and he threw a complete game, the first complete game of the season for El Dorado. Here comes a 3-1 and a swing and a miss. Had a good pitch, and he missed it, 3-2. So the runners will be going. The merry-go-round will be in full swing here for Liberal. Full count, 2 away. Bases loaded and a 3-0 lead. Here comes the pitch, and it's tapped foul, and we'll do it again. You may notice on your screen the runner at third base. That's Sean Arnold. He's doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You run almost to the other team's dugout when you're running on a 3-2 pitch here. You don't want to be anywhere near that line, and that's what he does again. The pitch, and that one's hit in the hole. Little Jim's going to be a tough play. The throw is not in time. It got past Solomon, and all 3 runs are going to score on that play. Solomon's throw misses the mark badly, and all the way to third base is Pearson, and Gary's going to have a lot of figuring here. It's going to be a base hit and 2 errors. And we'll get a mound visit here. So there's 1 RBI, right? Because it was a hit. So 1 RBI for Pearson. So 3 errors in the inning, 3 walks in the inning, a hit batter. Liberal has 6 runs on 2 hits. 1 earned run. And Jonathan Tapia will bat again. He led off the game with a walk. He scored the first BJ run. And the pitch is grounded to Sorensen. He's got it. The throw over to first, and they get Tapia out. But a 6-run inning, 2 hits, 3 errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Liberal 6, El Dorado coming to bat. Great to have you tuned in tonight for Bronco Baseball. Let's take the batting order for El Dorado and the defense for Liberal tonight. Pete Caravallo will lead off tonight for El Dorado. Caleb Little-Jim second, Brady Sargent third. Tanner Sheets fourth, John Sorensen fifth, and Maddox Solomon bats sixth. Ethan Payne seventh, Jordan Anstandag eighth, and Austin Toth bats ninth. For the BeeJays out in the field, Brock Burton's in left field, Dane Simon in center, and Sean Arnold is in right field. Here comes the first pitch to Pete Caravallo, and that's in there for strike one. The infield looks like this. Jack Crowell at third, R.J. Pearson at short, Jonathan Tapia at second, and Justin Marino at first. The 0-1, Caravallo fouls it out of play, 0-2. Braxton Fulford is catching for Liberal and pitching Peyton Bauer. And Bauer, as Caravallo fouls this one off, how about for a starter to come out on the field and you're already up 6-0? 6 runs, 2 hits. There were 3 walks. There was 3 errors, and there was 1 hit batter. For an El Dorado fan, about as bad of an inning as you can, as we've seen all year, I think. Gary's seen every game. Certainly in the home games. I haven't seen an inning that dreadful in a while, but the Broncos have 9 at-bats, or 9 innings to try to work back into it, and Caravallo grounds out to short for the first out. So Caleb Little-Jim will step in. He's been the leadoff batter for El Dorado. He will bat second here tonight. Maybe a little different spot in the lineup. For Peyton Bauer, this is his 7th start. Check that, his 7th game, his 5th start. And a swing and a miss by Little-Jim. Bauer, 28-plus innings of work, 24 hits, 10 earned runs, 7 walks, 26 strikeouts. He's going to be in the zone. He's 2-2 on the summer with a 3.17 ERA. Caleb Little-Jim down 0-2 in the count. So Bauer's come out throwing strikes, and the 0-2. Inside corner, strike 3. So 2 away, and here comes Brady Sargent. This pitcher, Peyton Bauer, is from Hutto, Texas. He goes to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So Brady Sargent from St. George, Utah, up there with 2 away, looks at strike 1. Bauer is pounding the zone right now. 6-0 Liberal. And the pitch, and that one's upstairs, 1-1. And Bauer getting in a rhythm, working quickly. And it's 1-2. Boy, what is it, Gary? When pitchers have rhythm and we're working quickly, they just seem to be more effective. When we see pitchers to take a lot of time, they don't seem as sharp. Sargent with a weak swing there, strikeout, and very quickly 3 up, 3 down for El Dorado. We go to the second inning, 6-0 Liberal. Well, Liberal sent 10 to the plate in the first inning. El Dorado went 3 and out. We go to the second inning, 6-0 BeeJays. And the Broncos have that look of a team that has lost 2 heartbreakers on consecutive nights. They look a little deflated. Hopefully they can get it going here, but certainly you got to put yourself in their shoes too. The psyche of the team. I mean, those were two excruciating losses on back-to-back nights. Sorensen is good on one pitch, one out from Simon. So a quick out for Brady Tackett. But, I mean, these Broncos know where they are in the standings. They know what's at stake. They come off a good win Sunday over Hayes. They have momentum. Had a tremendous chance to win here Monday. It didn't happen. Wouldn't you know, they had another tremendous chance to win on a couple of occasions last night. It didn't happen. And all of a sudden you run into game 3 and it's hotter and it's not like they're eliminated. Pitch a little out of the zone to Burton. Now, granted, trying to get second place is going to be a lot more difficult, but third place is still in the cards. There's still hope on that. And third place gets you to the NBC World Series. The Broncos come in tonight 3 games behind Liberal. We're kind of forgetting about first. Hayes is Gary and I, whenever I say Hayes, we kind of look at you like, yeah, they pretty much got this wrapped up. They would really have to go in the tank. So we're looking at really the middle of the standings. Tackett, struggling to get a call right now. 3-2. Is that right? 3-2? 2-2. The pitch, and that one slapped the other way. That's going to slice foul. So Liberal 15-10. Dodge is 13-10. Dodge is a game behind Liberal. Derby's 14-11. They're a game behind Liberal. And El Dorado is 13-14. They're 3 behind Liberal. But again, don't forget, the season series goes to the BeeJays. Here's a pop fly. Shallow center field. Coming in is Caravala, and he'll make the catch. So a second out. Dodge City is at Hayes. Again, if El Dorado can win here tonight, they get within 2 games of second place, really 3, because, again, they lose at any tiebreaker. But if Dodge loses and the Broncos are a game behind them, Derby tonight is at Hayesville. Could the Aviators come through? They tend to play better on their field. 1 ball and no strikes. Hayesville's 8-18. Great Bend is 7-20. That one's in there for a strike. Great Bend had a few people quit after they were here. There was some real unrest. They did win 1 against El Dorado up there, but the Broncos 5-1 against Great Bend this summer. Pop fly out to left field. Jordan Anstandig has it for El Dorado, and a very nice 1-2-3 inning for Brady Tackett. After an inning and a half, Liberal 6, El Dorado 0. Tanner Sheets will lead it off for El Dorado. Bottom of the second inning, 6-0 Liberal. Nice to have you tuned in tonight here on YouTube. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast wherever you might be tonight. And Peyton Bauer was really good in the first. He starts Sheets off with a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Sheets, Sorensen, and Solomon for the Broncos here in the home half of the second inning. That pitch sails outside, 1-1. Well, following along on Twitter, Matt Munoz, a good center fielder for Hayes, Here's the pitch. Sheets fouls it off. He has singled in a run, and it's 3-0 Larks over Dodge City right now. One ball, two strikes. The pitch bounces in, 2-2. So the 2-2 coming to Tanner Sheets and fouled off. And we'll do it again. Here comes the 2-2. And that almost hit Tanner. It's 3-2. Tanner Sheets out of Sugar Land, Texas, and bounces this one fouled on the third base side. Sheets comes into play tonight. His average is on the rise. He's at 301. 34 for 113. He's got 9 doubles, 1 triple, and 3 home runs. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts for Peyton Bauer. Talk about thinking about things on the way home. Do you know, I don't think I even mentioned this. I was more focused on El Dorado not getting any hits from the 5th, but that means I think I failed to give the Liberal relievers their due credit because they threw 7 innings of no-hit ball. Good swing here by Sorensen. Drives it out to right and deep to the track and gone. John Sorensen. Right underneath the scoreboard. That one landed in a home run for Sorensen. And there's that first hit. Gary always likes that. Still the streak continues. Home run for John Sorensen, 6-1 Liberal. Maddox Solomon comes up. For Sorensen, his 3rd homer of the summer. And the pitch is low, ball 1. Well, maybe, always thinking positive here, Gary. The pitch, Solomon grounds it in the hole, and it's gloved over there by Pearson, but it'll be an infield hit for Maddox Solomon. Always try to be positive, right? Maybe falling behind 6-0. Hayes did that? Oh, we were down 4-0. You make a comeback when you're down 6-0. All of a sudden, maybe you feel better and you go into a day off tomorrow with a much better taste and ready to roll this weekend. That's what we're going to go with. Here is Ethan Payne. And the pitch is a strike to Ethan. Boy, what a night he had the other night. Single, double, homer in that Sunday night win over the Hayes Larks. Shallow lead for Solomon. The pitch to Payne, and that's in there for strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Ethan Payne, a .277 hitter. 13 for 47. Bauer's got his sign and the pitch, and Payne sprays it foul. And we'll do it again into the parking lot. Off day tomorrow, Oklahoma City. They were here early in the homestand. They're here to finish the homestand this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that pitch drifts outside, 1-2. Waiting on deck, Jordan and Standig. Here comes a 1-2. And Payne hits it into left field, a base hit. Didn't quite square it up. And then it's bobbled by the left fielder. Here comes Maddox Solomon to third, and he's safe. Payne goes to second. That'll probably be an error. That'll be an error on the left fielder, Burton, who just kind of nonchalanted that one, and it got past him just enough to allow Solomon to chug into third base. So it's a hit and then an error. seemed like a harmless enough ball out into left. Payne didn't scream it out there. He fought it off and muscled it out to left field. But we have seen some bounces this summer out in left field that have really given some outfielders some issues, some high bounces, maybe some left or right turn bounces. So now Jordan Anstand got the off last night, and first pitch swings fouls. His grandparents, Donna and Bert Hershey, have been here since Sunday. They're heading back to Michigan tomorrow. So they were thrilled to see Jordan in tonight's lineup, and Jordan with a chance to get his team even closer here. It's 6-1 Liberal. And the pitch, and Anstandig's held up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bauer retired the side in the first and then struck out Sheets, but then a homer, a single, and an error. Here comes the 1-1. And Anstandig looking to find a hole on the right side. Nice sliding play over there by Tapia. Anstandig's retired, but he does drive in a run. Payne moves to third. And Gary, we say it all the time, productive outs are okay. That's better than a strikeout, isn't it? Tapia with a nice sliding play. The Liberal defense all week, I say all week, Monday, Tuesday, and now starting tonight, they have made some marvelous plays. That's why the air on Burton almost shocks you to see that, because they have been sparkling with the leather. And a first pitch strike to Austin Toth. And the pitch, Toth, a swing and a miss. And he's quickly down 0-2. Toth is third on the team in average with a .281 batting average. Jared Coyne getting a night off. And that fastball just missed. Third baseman Crowell was heading to the dugout. He thought that was good. It was pretty close. A ball and 2 strikes here to Toth. And the pitch. And that one did catch the plate for strike 3. 2 runs in the inning for El Dorado. They do it on 3 hits. 1 error. And we go to the third inning. Liberal 6, El Dorado 2. So the Broncos scored 2 in the bottom of the second. We head to the third inning. 6-2 Liberal. Crowell, Arnold, and Marino, the scheduled 3 for Liberal. Brady Tackett looked much more like Brady Tackett in that second inning. And his first pitch strike. Boy, all of his delivery just looks better. Watching that arm come all the way through, and he's finishing his pitches. No balls and a strike here to Crowell, who popped out to shallow left. It was Caleb Littlejim who actually tracked it down. Good curveball drops in there for a strike, and quickly 0-2. Are you calling sidearm here? The 0-2, nope. And the ball dropped down into the turf. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, big news today. The Royals lost again. Hard to believe. They hit 3 home runs, but they still lost. Here's the 1-2 inside, 2-2. Mike Moustakas, couple of home runs today for KC, but not near enough. 8-5, I think the final was. Here's a 2-2 and 3-2. So Crowell's worked it full after falling behind 0-2. Defense straight away. As I mentioned, Jared Coyne a night off, and that's good to get. Here's a nice sharp single out into right center field. It could be more. Coming over is Toth, and they'll hold Crowell to a single. Put Goodwood on that one, deposited into right center field. So here's Sean Arnold, walked and scored in that 6-run first for the BeeJays. 5-0, Hayes leading Dodge City. And Arnold lifts it out into right field. Toth has a beat on it and the catch for El Dorado. So 1 away. Marino didn't even have a chance to talk about him because he took the first pitch and knocked a single. Marino playing first base tonight. There's a pitch, and that's grounded to first. Solomon has it. Over to second for 1. Tackett a little late covering. Now he's there, but he dropped the ball. And it'll be just a fielder's choice for Marino, and 2 away. So 2 away for the BeeJays, and here's Braxton Fulford. Good to see Tackett didn't roll an ankle or anything, trying to catch the ball and find the base. He was a little late covering. That ball took Solomon well off of first base. Fulford was hit by a pitch. He chops one foul on the third base side. Gary, how many RBIs in that first inning? Pearson had an RBI single. Do you have any other? Was Marino single a RBI? Okay. And the pitch to Fulford just missed on the inner third. 1 ball and 1 strikes. And the pitch, that one's fouled. So we have new Bronco Frank Souza up here as taking over the Daniel Nelson seat. Are you running the music tonight? Running the music. Frank Souza from Choctaw, Oklahoma. I've known some people from, I like saying Choctaw, Oklahoma. It's a good town to see. Huh? Down by Tulsa. Outside, Payne throws down to a stealing runner, and sliding in safely is Marino. So, a runner at second with 2 out. And for Marino, that's his first stolen base this summer. Tackett to Fulford. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. And that missed. 3-2. Jimmy, you got a better view there. Was that off the plate? That was close. Well, as the here's a 3-2 and a check swing, no swing. It's going to be a walk, and it'll be a pass ball or a wild pass. Running to third was Marino. He was not stealing. Pass ball. So a walk to Fulford. Pass ball allows Marino to third. And here comes R.J. Pearson. He singled in a run. And remember his play. He was up, bases loaded, and it was a 3-2 count. So the runners are moving. He hit it in the hole. Caleb Littlejim really made a nice glove play. And his throw, Maddox Solomon tried to stretch towards the right field side of first base. Couldn't get the ball. It went past him. Pearson went to second as 3 runs scored. Here's a swing and a miss. Then Maddox threw it home, and he missed Ethan Payne by a long margin, and that allowed Pearson to go to third. There was a lot of moving parts on that play. back in the first inning. 0-2 to RJ Pearson. And that one's fouled off. And for El Dorado fans, you see RJ Pearson with a 105 average, and you figure, well, we could get this guy out and get out of the inning and be down 3-0. Instead, he puts wood on the ball, and that's half the battle. Great job by RJ. The pitch outside, 1-2. Well, it seems like, Gary, rarely when the Broncos have been on the wrong end of a real 50-50 call, things have not gone well. Fulford walked after a close no call. That one's high, 2-2. And I don't mean to have the woe is me syndrome, but it just, you have that feeling if you're a Bronco fan. It's been certainly the last two nights. It just feels that way. I don't mean to belabor the point, but as Pearson fouls this one off, when you come in the stadium today and you kind of see how that first inning goes, and then you don't get a call here, and it's been a frustrating 48 into 72 hours here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch in the turf, 3-2, and boy, Fulford had drifted a little far off of first, but Payne couldn't get a good hold on it. And again, throwing down to first at this time of night, you're looking right into the sun, so it's a tough sun for Maddox Solomon too. Fulford will be on the move. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch is fouled off. How about these at-bats from RJ Pearson? He's worked it full both times. Top of the third inning. 6-2 Liberal. 9th pitch. And the pitch from Tackett. That's blasted out to left field. Hooking, but not enough. Up against the wall. 1 run is in. Pearson is on his way to second with a double. And the dugout going crazy. I mean, this is a guy hitting 105. And he doubled it. Scores a run. Boy, oh boy. Just by the dugout reaction, Pearson has struggled with the bat, and they were happy for him for what he did again. That's he's 2 for 2 tonight. A 105 hitter, 2 for 2. First pitch strike from Tackett to Jonathan Tapia. That just adds to the frustration level when a 105 hitter is giving you the most fits here tonight. He has 2 of Liberal's 4 hits in the turf, 1-1. And a little surprised there's really no one warming right now. Tackett was at 49 pitches after 2 innings, and this has been another taxing inning. 7-2 Liberal. They got 2 runners out there in scoring position. The pitch from Tackett in the turf again, 2-1. Tapia is 0 for 1, grounded out to third. He batted twice in the first inning. He walked, scored, and then was the third out when he grounded out to Sorensen. 2 balls, 1 strike, the pitch. And that one's bounced towards Little Jim. He's got it in the glove, throw over to first, and Tapia is retired. So a couple of hits, a run for Liberal in the third. We go to the bottom of the third. BeeJays 7, Broncos 2. Well, the Broncos scored twice in the second. They're down 5 as we head the third. And top of the order, Pete Caravala, Caleb Littlejim, Brady Sargent against Peyton Bauer. And the first pitch, and Caravala swinging and fouling it off. So when I do these games, I'm watching our broadcast, and I flip around, and I was on Twitter. Here's the 0-1, and that's in there for strike 2. Sometimes bad things happen when you're doing dumb things. Here's the 0-2. So the Twitter, there's a picture of a model laying in a body of water with sharks circling her. Here's the 1-2. And that one's hit over to the first baseman, Marino. He'll take it himself, and close play. But Caravala is retired. Caleb Littlejim coming up. He struck out looking the first time. And the line says, ouch, shark bites model during photo shoot in Bahamas. Well, of course they did. Why? The thing, I just don't understand. First pitch strike. I mean, Gary, if someone said, hey, we want you to lay floating in the water, we're going to have sharks circling around, but don't worry, they won't bite you. Littlejim in the hole. Pearson's got it. Strong throw over to first, and Littlejim's retired. That was more arm than the glove. The ball wasn't hit that sharply. A little bit in the hole, and Pearson showed off a good cannon at short. So 2 away. I mean, these are sharks. They're not gold. If they were goldfish, I would do it, maybe. Although it's a great white line. Gary had a line last night, and unfortunately, he said it right when, I think the third out occurred. And so when yesterday was National Cow Day, and he said he was utterly something. You were utterly something, but it was really funny. I did not know until this year how punny that Gary can be here. Generally, everyone I come up with, he's punderful. For sure he is. Some might say he's full of it, too. I don't know. Sargent drives one out to left field. Going back, Burton to the wall and caught. Sargent hit it well. Little bit, we just don't have much wind here tonight, and that one fell short. And Burton with a good catch in left field. 3 up, 3 down in the third. More entertainment coming up after this. 7-2 Liberal here on YouTube. He'd already have 2 strikes. Dane Simon will lead off for Liberal here in the fourth. Squares the bunt, lays it down. Tackett's on it. The throw is off the glove. I think he would have been safe anyway. But now it's going to be a hit and an error. Simon It was a good bunt. It would have been interesting if he throws a strike and Solomon catches it, what the call would have been, but it was going to be bang, bang. And the way things have gone this week, he would have been safe. But then the pitcher threw it. Yep. Tackett gets an assist, and that's the third error on Maddox Solomon tonight. One fielding, one throwing, and now one catching. 1 ball, no strikes. In the turf, 2-0. You get the sense as well, as down as the Broncos appear tonight, is how excited Liberal is. Gary and I have been watching Liberal really slump in the standings for a couple of weeks. This one's lined up the middle of base hit. Simon had to hold, and he will stay at third. And runners at first and third. But Gary, you and I mean, we were watching Liberal. They were really struggling for a couple of weeks. And I hate to say that, I know Gary and I were looking forward to maybe the Broncos being able to jump on Liberal, maybe a down team, but they had some success against the Kansas Cannons over the weekend, and they've really rebounded. 2 hard-fought wins. Sometimes when you're doing this gig, you focus on one team not winning the game. You got to credit Liberal for winning 2 hard-fought games here Monday and Tuesday. So here's Peyton Johnson. Amazingly, with all the trouble tonight, Peyton Johnson's 0 for 2. He's been one of the main offensive guys for Liberal. And he goes the other way, trying that left field line. That's going to slice foul. So no balls and a strike. 7-2 Liberal. Their hit count is starting to catch up to their run count. They took advantage of every opportunity in the first inning. Now they're really earning their keep here, knocking the ball around the baseball field. And Johnson again fouls it off. Peyton Johnson grounded out to first, flew out to left tonight. Already the BeeJays, their third time through against Tackett here in the 4th inning. No balls, 2 strikes. Jack Crowell waits on deck. Here's the pitch. And that one gets past Payne, and Simon will score again on a wild pitch. He did that in the first inning. And the runner went all the way. What's the call, Gary? The runner's down at first, but why didn't the run get to count? So it's a walk. Where did it hit? It hit Peyton Johnson, I think they're saying. How did it hit him? I'm really confused because that ball was to the backhand side of Payne. There wasn't 3 balls, was there, on him? No, it was 2 strikes and no balls. So we have no idea why Peyton Johnson's at first, but he is. The bases are loaded. That's the only thing it could have been, though, because what's that, Jimmy? If it's a wild pitch, Simon scores. There's no doubt there. They called it dead ball. Well, I didn't see a swing. That pitch way high, 3-0 to Jack Crowell, and no one warming right now for the Broncos. Well, we know Simon singled. We know Burton singled. We don't know. That pitch in there for a strike. 3-1. Jimmy says he's confused. You're not the only one. Jack Crowell singled his last time up. 3 balls, 1 strike. The pitch is fisted towards second base. It's going to be hard to turn 2 here. Over to second for 1. And there's 1 away. So a fielder's choice RBI for Crowell. Burton moves over to third. Simon now does eventually get to score. 8-2 Liberal. And Ben Smith is going to go down to the bullpen and start warming up for El Dorado. Burton's at third. Here's one up the middle. Sheets able to knock it down, sliding. That'll be a base hit for Arnold. And Burton scores. Crowell moves down to second base. Runners at first and second. Yes. So here's Justin Marino. Crowell is at second base. Gary's somewhat straight now. That pitch way outside, ball 1. Smith not warming up aggressively right now. It is warm out. It shouldn't take too long to get loose, but Tackett has struggled from the first batter tonight. 1 ball and no strikes. And this one's lifted out into center field. Pete Caravala is under it, and he's got the catch for the second out. Second out. Got a force out of Peyton Johnson. Johnson was forced. We don't know how he got to first. 4-6. Sheets to Little Jim. And with 2 away, the pitch to Fulford is out of the zone. Braxton, his 3rd time to the plate, still looking for an official at bat. He was hit by a pitch and he's walked. And popped up on the infield. John Sorensen in fair territory, right near the base. Now drifts into fair territory and makes the catch for the 3rd out. For Liberal, 2 runs on 3 hits. There was an error. And 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 9-2 in favor of Liberal. Well, Gary sprinted down, as only Gary can do. to find, was it the umpire who was that brief with you? That was the umpire said that to you? So Peyton Johnson was hit by a pitch on an a low and away pitch. He was hit by it. I'm going to have to go back on our archive, and I want to see that again and see. The only way he could have been hit by a pitch if he would have jumped into the other batter's box, which I don't think is legal. Unless maybe we saw it wrong. Maybe it hit him and it, who knows? Tanner Sheets lines one hard, and it's fared on the left field line. Tanner will stroll into second base with a leadoff double. Yeah, I thought I was watching. I was actually looking to the left of the line, waiting for that ball to hit. It stayed fair. Good sting there by Tanner Sheets. John Sorensen. John Sorensen homered in the second inning for El Dorado. His third of the summer. That pitch called a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Peyton Bauer continues to get cushion to work with. Started with a 6-0 lead. El Dorado got it to 6-2. But a run in the third and 2 in the fourth. It's 9-2 Liberal. And Sorensen goes the other way, slicing on the left field line. It's in foul territory and caught by Burton. He quickly throws it in, keeping Sheets at second. Maddox Solomon will stand in, singled and scored in the second inning. And the pitch in the turf, 1-0 to Maddox Solomon. To Maddox, and that's outside, ball 2. Maddox Solomon, San Antonio, Texas, 6'3", 235. Homered here on Monday. Sheets had a big lead, and Bauer able to stop his motion and stop Tanner Sheets. And the pitch to Solomon, and off the end of the bat, foul, 2-1. Maddox hitting .266 this summer. 4 doubles, 7 homers. He's driven in 27. He's the team leader. He's been that for a while, too. There's the 2-1 to Maddox, and a good cut, but he was out in front of that curve, and it's 2-2. Maddox, a good frame there at the plate, and swing and a miss, strike 3. Couple of curveballs, got Solomon there. And here's Ethan Payne. Payne singled. He was the third straight hit for El Dorado in the second. Sorensen homered, Solomon singled, and Payne had singled. The Broncos plated 2 in that second inning. 9-2 Liberal, bottom of the fourth, and Bauer again very concerned with Sheets there at second. And the first pitch to Payne misses. 1-0. The infield starting to cover with shadows here. Top 2 teams in our league advance to the second week of the NBC World Series. The third place team will enter the tournament for week 1 with a hope to making it to week 2. And Payne pops this one up on the infield. R.J. Pearson will put it away, and that is the third out. A leadoff double, and that's it for El Dorado. We go to the 5th inning, 9-2 BeeJays. R.J. Pearson leading off for Liberal here in the top of the 5th inning. And first pitch swinging, lifts one out into center field. Caravala coming on and makes the catch. Running catch by Pete Caravala. And they're finally able to retire R.J. Pearson tonight. Here's Jonathan Tapia. Tapia 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. First pitch is a little bit high, 1-0. Brady Tackett still out there for El Dorado, trying to give Toby Reuter some innings here tonight. And that one in there for a strike. What was it? It was the Derby game at Derby where Tackett went 127 pitches in a 3-2 win at Derby earlier this summer. And the pitch misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Another warm, sunny summer night here in El Dorado. That one bounces in 3-1. It was nice during Parents' Weekend. We did get a little cooler weather, more mid to upper 80s, but we're back into the upper 90s again here. And that one hit hard, but John Sorensen at third able to stab it. Tapia hit it well, but right at Sorensen. 2 away for Liberal, and here is Dane Simon. Dane Simon scored twice tonight. He's got a stolen base. He grounded out to third in the 2nd inning, singled and scored in the 4th, walked in the 1st. First pitch from Tackett. That one's hit out into right field, and it's Tanner Sheets drifting back to make the catch. So for the 2nd time tonight, Tackett able to retire Liberal in order. 3 up and 3 down. We're halfway through, and it's Liberal 9, El Dorado 2. Jordan Anstandig to lead it off for El Dorado here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Against Peyton Bauer. And the first pitch to Jordan outside, ball 1. Jordan Anstandig had a infield ground out RBI in the 2nd inning. And the 1-0 is outside, 2-0. Jordan Anstandig, a .224 hitter, 19 hits, 3 doubles. And this one's bounced. Bauer has it just to the third base side of the pitcher's mound and retires Anstandig. So 1 away, and that'll bring up Austin Toth. And the first pitch and swing and a miss from Toth. He struck out looking his first time. 9 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Liberal, 2 runs, 4 hits, and 4 errors for El Dorado. And Toth flips this one over the BJ bullpen and into the parking lot. I'll tell you what, it's hard to survive when you walk 3, hit a batter, and commit 3 errors in an inning. Broncos fell behind 6-0 after the top of the first inning and have been battling uphill ever since. Here comes the pitch, and Toth hits it right back through the middle for a base hit. A 1-out single for Austin Toth. So here comes Pete Caravala. Pete with 3 homers, 2 on Friday night and another one on Monday night. Ben Smith appears to be ready in the Bronco bullpen. And the pitch to Caravallo went off speed there, and it's 1-0. And a throwback over to first and sliding in safely Toth. Austin Toth has 6 steals this summer in 7 attempts. The Broncos as a team are 48 for 57 stealing. And again over to first, and again Toth back in safely. 9-2 Liberal here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 away for El Dorado. Toth with a good lead. And the pitch, and Caravala got under this one, and that one's floating out into right field. Arnold has the catch in right center field for the BeeJays. So Caravala in that leadoff spot 0 for 3. The Broncos having trouble getting production from that leadoff spot in the last few games. Here's Caleb Littlejim batting second tonight. He's 0 for 2. Toth over at first. Caleb from Little Axe, Oklahoma. Goes to Kansas State University. Brother Gabe had a terrific outing here in the win over Hayes on Sunday night. That pitch low. Toth goes diving back into first as Fulford had a notion to throw down there. And the pitch to Littlejim in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Littlejim. Brady Sargent waiting on deck. And that pitch in there for strike 2. Caleb has had a lot of trouble with that inside strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Toth on the move, and that's a strikeout of Littlejim. So the 1-out single doesn't hurt Liberal. We head to the 6th inning. 9-2 BeeJays. New pitcher for El Dorado. Brady Tackett went 5 innings tonight. Gave up 9 runs. 4 of those are earned. He walked 4. He hit 2 batters. He did not record a strikeout tonight. Gave up 7 hits. And he gives way to Ben Smith. Ben Smith with a 6.94 ERA in 11 innings of work. And that pitch in there for a strike. 11 runs given up, 9 earned. He's walked 13 and struck out 7. He's 1-1 with 2 saves. Out of Arkansas, Monticello. And a 1-1 pitch here to Burton. And that one served into center field. Caravala, it'll land in front of him for a base hit. So Brock Burton leads it off with a single, and that'll bring up Peyton Johnson. 22 is Aaron Mack is catching for Ethan Payne. Runner moving, a little hit and run, and Johnson fouled it out of play. Peyton Johnson, 0 for 2, and the mysterious hit by pitch. Smith out of the zone there, 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch from Smith, high and away, 2-1. Off day tomorrow for El Dorado. Oklahoma City in town for the weekend. Hope to see you out here at McDonald's Stadium. If not, we'll have the broadcasts for you all 3 nights here on YouTube. Johnson lifts it out into left field. Anstandig going back, got turned around, and that is gone. Over the wall, home run. Peyton Johnson goes the other way. Good power by Johnson. A 2-run home run, and that makes it 11-2 Liberal. Well, that's back-to-back nights. Last night, you might remember when Rustin Hayes, who pitched really well, but the first batter he faced gave up the game-tying home run. The second batter Ben Smith faces goes out of the yard. And the first pitch to Crowell is in there for a strike. The 0-1 stayed upstairs, 1-1. Ball and a strike, the pitch. And that one's hit between third and short for a base hit. So it's been a rough start now for Ben Smith. 3 straight hits for Liberal. Single, homer, and single. And that'll bring up Sean Arnold. Arnold's 1 for 2. Arnold walked and scored in the first, flew out to right, and then singled in a run in the 4th inning. And the first pitch from Smith in there for a strike. How many games do you play in the Jayhawk, Gary? I imagine from time to time there's going to be games like this. Splitter drops in there for a strike. It's 0-2. (11-2) Liberal here in the top of the 6th inning. Ben Smith with his sign. The pitch popped up. Sheets going back, still going back, and he'll make the catch in shallow right field. So that's the first out, and here's Justin Marino. Marino came into play tonight, a .250 hitter, his 8th game, 5 for 20. And tonight, he's got a single, an RBI, 2 runs scored. He's 1 for 3. And that first pitch off speed in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch stays upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. I see the Cleveland Indians, a 17-0 lead over Cincinnati in the 4th inning. Good heavens. Outside, 2-1. The pitch is bounced towards Sheets at second. Only 1 play, and he goes to second. I actually thought it was only going to be at first, but they do retire the lead runner, Crowell. So 4-6 on the putout, second out of the inning. And here comes Braxton Fulford. Fulford 0 for 1. He's been plunked and he has been walked. And the pitch got Ben Smith. That went right back where it came from. And out into center field for a base hit. Oh, yeah, last year. Last year, the Broncos had a pitcher throwing a no-hitter, got drilled by a pitch in the head. R.J. Pearson, 2 for 3 tonight. And a swing and a miss, strike 1. Pearson, 2 RBIs tonight, a single and a double. No balls and 1 strike from Ben Smith, and that one drops in there for a ball. It dropped in for a strike. I was wrong. The 1-1 is out of the zone, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Pearson, the number 9 batter in the lineup. And that one low. Three balls and a strike to R.J. Pearson. And that one not close. And the bases are loaded. Fulford moves to second, Marino to third, and here comes Jonathan Tapia. This is already the 5th time Tapia is coming to the plate. Leadoff batter for Liberal. And that pitch in there for a strike. Hayes leading Dodge City 6-2 in the 4th inning. Here comes the 0-1. And that one drops in there for strike 2. Here comes an 0-2. And Tapia fights that one off, fouls it straight back. So here we go with another 0-2, and the pitch is way high, 1-2. Marino at third, Fulford at second, Pearson's at first. 11-2 Liberal with 2 away here in the 6th inning. 2 have already scored for Liberal here in this inning on a 2-run home run opposite field by Peyton Johnson. Here's the pitch. Hit to Tanner Sheets on a hop, and he'll flip over to Little Jim for the 3rd out. So Liberal will strand at 3, but they scored 2. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 11-2 Liberal. Want to say hello to Michelle Coyne. She's watching tonight. She said one good thing happened. They're Tiger fans. The Detroit Tigers are up 2-1. So she's happy about that. Thanks for the email, Michelle. Needed something to smile about here. And Amy Russell. Appreciate the email. Cheering on the Broncos from Petoskey, Michigan. Aunt Amy, Tate, Josie, and brother Carson cheering on the Broncos. Of course, they talking about Jarrett Coyne there. Jarrett getting a deserved night off. Sargent fouls this one off quickly, 0-2. Peyton Bauer has really been on cruise control here tonight. 29 pitches that last inning for Ben Smith. 8 batters came to the plate. Fortunately for El Dorado, only 2 scored. And Sargent, a swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout. The Sarge is 0 for 3 tonight. And that'll bring up Tanner Sheets. Sheets with a sharp double down the left field line as last time, and he struck out in the second. He's 1 for 2. First pitch, strike. Well, and for Bauer, you're up 11-2. Just keep humming them in there, humming in those strikes. And Sheets hits this one hard out to left center field, to the track, to the wall. Gone. Tanner Sheets with a home run. No, he will not be stranded. He'll just come all the way around with 4 bases there. Tanner Sheets with a solo home run out to left center field. That's his 4th homer of the summer. And that average, he was at 301 coming in. He's 2 for 3 tonight. The Broncos tonight have 2 solo home runs. The other one came from this guy, John Sorensen. And the first pitch misses 1-0. And if you're Peyton Bauer and Liberal, you're not walking anyone. You're just making them hit it. And Sorensen sawed off, fights it into left field. Sliding catch made by Burton. Another good defensive play by the BeeJays. That looked like an easy single. But Brock Burton with a nice sliding catch out in left field. Here's Maddox Solomon. He's 1 for 2 tonight. And he looks at ball one. Solomon bounces it, fouled on the third base side. Here comes a 1-0. That stays high, 2-0. Or 1-1, I'm sorry, 1-1. I'll get it right one of these times. Eventually, I've got to be right. Here's 3-1 now. Aaron Mack waiting on deck, and that's a 5-pitch walk to Maddox Solomon. Ethan Payne started. He went 1 for 2. And now Aaron Mack in the game, and he'll get his first at bat. Of course, the other catcher for El Dorado, Tucker Catlett's got some meniscus issues, so he's out for a while. Aaron Mack, a .250 hitter so far since joining the Broncos, 6 for 24. And the first pitch floats outside, 1-0. Bauer's got his sign and the pitch. And Mack hits it hard out into center field. Simon drifting back, but he's got room and the catch. And that's the third out. A solo home run by Tanner Sheets. We go to the seventh, 11-3, Liberal. Top of the seventh inning here from McDonald Stadium. Liberal in control from the very first inning here tonight. They lead 11-2 in a first pitch strike to Dane Simon. He was the only BJ not to bat in that sixth inning. And the 0-1 from Smith is outside, 1-1. One ball, one strike. And Simon fists this one to first. Solomon's got it. He'll take it himself for the first out. So one away, and here's Brock Burton. He has scored 3 times tonight. Reached on an error in the first, flew out to center in the second. Singleton scored in the fourth. Singleton scored in the sixth. And he looks at the first pitch ball, 1-0. The pitch from Ben Smith outside, 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. And that pitch in there for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike to Brock Burton. And that one's low. Burton, a .286 hitter this summer. One away for Liberal here in the top of the 7th. And the pitch hit hard towards second. Tanner Sheets able to glove it over to first, and that's the second out. Well, talk about Tanner Sheets' bat, but his glove has really been good since an air Friday night. He has been rock solid Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and tonight, making all the plays over there on the right side. Well, yeah, 1 air in 3 weeks for Sheets, so take that. Seen Tanner a lot at third, but a lot more at second here recently. First pitch to Peyton Johnson, misses the zone. He had a 2-run home run to left field his last time up. 3 homers tonight, one by Johnson, and then 2 solo shots, one by Sorensen for El Dorado, one by Sheets for El Dorado. And the pitch on the corner. Ben Smith in his second inning of work for the Broncos. And that caught the corner again. The corners seem to be floating a little bit here as it's 11-3. I don't recall that being a strike in the first inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brady Tackett's probably in the dugout saying, if you had called a few more of those, I might still be out there. It was a taxing, excruciating first inning for Tackett and the Broncos. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Johnson. The pitch, and that stayed upstairs, 2-2. Broncos with just 2 league games left at home after tonight. Here's one fell out of play. Of course, Oklahoma City again's here this weekend. Those are non-league games, but we'll broadcast them. Derby is here on July 18th. And then July 23rd, it's the Hayesville Aviators. And this one's hit sharply, but right at Little Jim for the 3rd out. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Ben Smith. It is time to stretch in El Dorado. Liberal 11, El Dorado 3. New pitcher for the Liberal BeeJays. 6 pretty comfortable innings by Peyton Bauer tonight, and he gives away here in the 7th inning to Christian Eisenhower. And it's 2-0. Here's the 2-0 and a swing and a miss by Jordan Anstandig. 2 balls and a strike. Eisenhower's from Austin, Texas. He goes to Cisco College. So he probably knows some of these Broncos. And that one hit Jordan Anstandig. His dad told me he got hit like 11 times this season for college. He's got some more getting hit by pitches to catch up to Jarrett Coyne, but a leadoff runner for El Dorado. And the pitch is in there for a strike. Eisenhower, his 8th game, all in relief. 10 innings of work, 9 hits. He's walked 11, struck out 13. He's 2-0 with a save and an ERA of 3.60. 1 ball and 1 strike to Austin Toth. Bauer goes 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, 6 hits. Ball and a strike here to Toth. The pitch, and that's behind Toth. Nice catch. I'll tell you what, I'm always impressed when catchers can catch those when they go behind the batter. Toth, the number 9 batter in the lineup tonight for El Dorado, for Toby Reuter's team. And the pitch, and a swing and a miss, 2-2. Eisenhower spelled Isenhour. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's outside. Oh, that was a 3-2. I beg your pardon. That was a 3-2 pitch, and it's a walk. Hit by pitch and a walk, and here comes Pete Caravala. Fulford will go out and talk to the pitcher. And the pitch to Pete Caravala is out of the zone, 1-0. 11-3 Liberal here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jimmy fired up some Sweet Caroline, trying to fire up the crowd and the Broncos here. See if we can get some energy going. And 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. The pitch, high, ball 3. So a 3-0 pitch. And that's inside, ball 4. And we'll get a mound visit as Eisenhower's had trouble locating. Want to say hello to Jason and Standig, and of course they're watching. Shout out to Jordan's host family, Deb and Stan Green. And without Deb and Stan Green, there wouldn't be any Alma Scotts here in El Dorado. So thank you to the Greens. Caleb Littlejim will be the batter with the bases loaded and nobody out. And the first pitch, and getting a little squeezed now, and it's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch gets through the catcher and no advance. So 2-0. Here comes a 2-0 pitch on the way, and that one caught the corner, 2-1. Two balls, one strike to Caleb Littlejim. The pitch fouled off, 2-2. Eisenhower with his sign. And up the middle, and that will find center field. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Littlejim had been 0 for 20. Before that, 2 RBI single. Toth and Anstandig score. And it's 11-5. And here comes Brady Sargent. Big lead over at second for Caravala. And that pitch high and over the catcher's head. The runners will move up 90 feet. And that's going to be the last pitch for Eisenhower tonight. And we'll get a new pitcher. 11-5 the score. Nobody out yet here in the 7th. We'll tell you about the new pitcher in a moment. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. Dylan Paul is the new pitcher for Liberal. John Reuter says never say never. Here come the Broncos down 11-5, 2 on and nobody out. Thanks for the email, John. First pitch misses, ball 1. Ball 2, you're right, ball 2. 5th game for Paul. 9 walks, 8 strikeouts for Paul. Sargent bounces it to Paul. No advance, a sling over to first and 1 away. Boy, did he bounce off the mound, get that ball, look over to third, sling it over to first. So here comes Tanner Sheets, a hot batter for El Dorado. He homered his last time up. And Paul misses on the first offering, 1-0. The 1-0, that's outside, 2-0. The 2-0 Sheets was a little off balance and fouls this one. It'll get out of play. Two balls, one strike. Paul to Sheets, and he waited on that one, but fouled it back. Two balls, two strikes. Oh, and Sheets off balance on that swing, strikes out. Well, here comes John Sorensen. He has homered tonight. First pitch misses, 1-0 to Sorensen. He homered back in the second inning, and he's flown out to left field twice, 1 for 3. And the pitch is low, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. Runners at second and third. Anstandig was hit by a pitch. Toth walked. Caravallo walked. Little Jim with a 2 RBI single. The ball dropped out of Paul's glove, and that'll be a balk. Another balk in favor of El Dorado. Never seen so many balks, Gary. And none by El Dorado. I haven't seen any balks by the Broncos. And Sorensen lines it to center field. And is that caught? It is. Oh, my. What a catch in center field. Dane Simon. That's 2 rob jobs by the BeeJay outfielders. El Dorado scores 3 times in the inning. I thought they had a 4th. We head to the 8th. 11-6 Liberal. So top of the 8th inning. Boy, John Sorensen robbed. Robbery in that outfield by the BeeJays. The El Dorado PD should be here. No balls and 2 strikes to Jack Crowell. And that one's hit well. Crowell waited on it, hits it to deep left center field, and that's gone. Boy, did he wait on an 0-2 pitch from Ben Smith and hits it out into left center. So just, again, when El Dorado starts getting a little momentum, Liberal comes right back and puts a little water on the fire. And his teammates mob him in the dugout. So the Broncos get 3 and El Dorado or Liberal answers. Think back to the second inning. El Dorado scored 2, made it 6-2. And then the BeeJays scored 1 in the third and 2 in the fourth, and they kept stretching it out. 2 more in the sixth. El Dorado then came back with 1 in the sixth, 3 in the seventh, but the BeeJays find a run here in the eighth. 12-6 Liberal. The 0-1 misses 1-1. Sean Arnold is 1 for 3 tonight with an RBI and a run scored. Here comes the 1-1, and that one's fouled. And it's 1-2. Ben Smith ahead, and the pitch, and that is just tapped foul, just trying to stay alive. Hey, big thanks to our friends at El Dorado Building Systems Incorporated, Brad and Roxanne Cool, leaders in the metal building market, big sponsors of our broadcasts, and invite you to check them out for all your metal building market needs. Brad Cool, 1-800-279-4300. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Arnold. And this one's shot into right field, and that's a base hit. And Marino will come up. Justin Marino hit into a couple of fielders' choices tonight, an RBI single in the first, and he did score. So officially 1 for 4. Left-handed batter Marino, and that pitch drops in there for a strike. Nine to 2, Hayes leading Dodge City in the 5th inning. That one low, Max smothers it. So a ball and a strike. Runner going. This one's hit to second. Over to second for 1. They didn't get that out, but they do get him at first. So Arnold advances to second, and Marino is retired 4-6-3. And that's the first out of the inning. Here's Braxton Fulford. Fulford tonight, 1 for 2 with a walk and hit by a pitch. He's been on base 3 times. Ben Smith looking in from his sign from Aaron Mack. And that pitch in there, fastball for a strike. So a ball and a strike. Runner going. That's a ball, and that throw is over the third baseman's head, and that will be a stolen base, an error, and another run. And the fifth error tonight on El Dorado. So 2 balls and a strike here on Fulford, then no one on the base paths. I think 2-1. So 13-6 Liberal here in the 8th, and lifted into right field, drifting foul. Solomon with a beat on it and makes the catch in foul territory. Nice catch by Maddox. And 2 away, and that'll bring up R.J. Pearson. Now, scrolling through my Twitter, I see a Florida man tells police that he didn't drink while driving, only at stop signs. That still counts, I think. 1 ball and no strikes to Pearson. Looks like a nice enough gentleman, but a little confused. The 1-0 in there for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Gary is always on it. He stopped for a drink. He did. I wonder how many stop signs he had on his way home. A ball and 2 strikes. Now El Dorado scores 3 in the 7th. You start feeling maybe a little momentum switch, and El Dorado or Liberal comes back with a homer, and then they score on an error. 13-6 in the turf, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to R.J. Pearson. And 3-2. Again, that big at bat in the first inning. 3 were already in. Bases loaded. 3-2 count. Runners moving. He hit one in the hole at short. And things got crazy from there. Hit hard to Sorensen on a knee. He fields it. Throw to first on a bounce in time to get Pearson. Nice job by John Sorensen. He rubs that shoulder. He took that one right on the upper torso. 2 score for Liberal on 2 hits in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 13-6 Liberal. Maddox Solomon leading off for the Broncos here in the bottom of the 8th inning. See if they can keep trying to dig into that deficit here. 2 balls and no strikes from Dylan Paul, and Solomon fouls it off. 2 balls and a strike. Dylan Paul, curveball is missing, 3-1. Dylan Paul had the big grand slam here on Monday night for Liberal. At the time, gave him a 6-2 lead, and the BeeJays held on for an 8-7 win on Monday. BeeJays a 4-2 winner last night in 12 innings. Their relievers threw 7 innings of no-hit ball. They did a total of 9 walks last night by Liberal pitching, but only one came around to score for El Dorado. So bottom of the 8th here, Maddox Solomon with a 3-2 pitch coming, and that's high, ball 4. And certainly Bill Clay doesn't want to see free base runners again. But a first one starting off for the Broncos. Here's Aaron Mack. He hit it to deep center his first time. Came in relief of Ethan Payne. And Mack pops this one up on the infield. Tapia is underneath it and has the catch. Here comes Jordan Anstandig. Jordan started off that 7th inning by getting hit by a pitch. He came around and scored. He's 0 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI tonight. Jordan got a night off last night. And he looks at strike 1 there on the corner. So 1, no balls and a strike. And fastball inside. So a ball and a strike. Paul with a look over at first, but not too worried about Solomon with a 7-run lead here in the 8th inning. Two balls and a strike. And that one's fouled out of play. Jordan had a pretty good cut there, but fouled it out of play. The 2-2, look out, up and in, 3-2. Here comes a 3-2 to Anstandig, and it's inside. Ball 4. They appeal to the umpire. He says no, he did not swing. So Jordan Anstandig, who just has a marvelous eye at the plate. I always credit that to Jason Anstandig for those contacts. Yeah. Here's Austin Toth, and that slow curve in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 1 away for El Dorado here in the home half of the 8th inning. 13-6 Liberal. And Toth fouls this one, and it'll be caught by the first baseman, Marino. So Pete Caravala will come up with 2 on and 2 out. Pete tonight in the leadoff spot. He's 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. He scored on that balk when the ball fell out of Dylan Paul's glove. Here's the 0-1, and that one bends in there beautifully, 0-2. So an 0-2, lefty on lefty here. Paul and Caravala, the pitch. Outside, 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Caravala fights this one off and fouls it off down the third base side. Caleb Littlegym waits on deck. Caleb broke out of an 0 for 20 with an RBI, 2 RBI single his last time up. Here comes a 1-2. Fastball low, 2-2. The 2-2, and it's hit out into right field. A base hit, Caravala. And Toby Reuter will hold the runner at third. No reason to get anyone thrown out at home. Maddox Solomon goes to third, and Standig to second. And here's Caleb Littlejim with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And that pitch inside, 1-0 to Caleb Littlejim. Boy, if he could get a run in, Brady Sargent comes up next. The pitch, outside, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. And Littlejim hits it out into left field, and Burton is underneath it and makes the catch. Well, the Broncos load them up but cannot score. We go to the 9th. Liberal 13, El Dorado 6. New pitcher for El Dorado, Austin Toth moves from right field to the pitcher's mound. Connor Allen, he comes into Brady Sargent's spot. Top of the 9th inning, 13-6 in favor of Liberal. Well, Gary, I know you can't do this, but you take away that first inning and we got a 7-6 game here. But I don't think you're allowed to do that. Bouncer to Littlejim from Tapia. He's got it. Throw to first and a close play, but out. So Tapia out of there. Just interesting that Tapia came in and pinch hit in the 12th last night, walked, and eventually scored the winning run. Then he leads off the game tonight with a walk, scores, which I guess is the winning run. They've never led since Tapia scored, or never trailed, I should say. Dane Simon with a swing and a miss against Austin Toth. Toth from Arkansas Pine Bluff. 3 innings so far this summer, and he's given up 1 run, or 1 earned run. 2 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts for Toth. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch from Toth is hit hard out into left field and deep. Back to the wall and gone. Dane Simon. So a lot of long balls tonight with this hot air. Third home run of the night for Liberal. Peyton Johnson with a 2-run homer. Jack Crowell had a solo shot. And now Dane Simon dials long distance. 14-6 Liberal. Here's a bouncer on the right side. Sheets can't get there, and it's a base hit for Burton. Second homer of the summer for Dane Simon. And Peyton Johnson stands in. He's 1 for 4 tonight with a 2-run home run. Toth is going from the windup. He's got a runner at first. And he misses 1-0. But Liberal up 14-6. The runner stayed at first. Normally, when a runner sees a pitcher going to a windup, it's a free stolen base. This one lifted foul. Sorensen gives chase, but runs out of room. So a ball and a strike here on Peyton Johnson. Left-handed batter is Johnson. And that pitch high, 2-1. And 3-1 now. Three balls and a strike to Peyton Johnson. And that one misses, ball 4. So here comes Jack Crowell. He homered in the 8th inning to lead off the 8th inning. And he's 3 for 5 tonight. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. There's the pitch from Toth, and that one shot down the right field line, and that's fair. The 4th hit of the night for Jack Crowell. That will score a run, and runners are at first and third, and it's 15-6. Good night for Jack Crowell. And that'll bring up Sean Arnold. Sean Arnold is 2 for 4 with a walk, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. So Liberal really adding to their offensive numbers here tonight. 15-6 BeeJays. First pitch in there for a strike. Liberal with 6 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the sixth, 2 in the 8th, and 2 here in the 9th so far. 1 ball and 1 strike to Arnold. They did not score in the 2nd. Tackett retired on 1-2-3. They didn't score in the 7th. That was a 1-2-3 inning. Those have been few and far between tonight. And this is a base hit out into right field. And it gets past Connor Allen out in right field. So the runners will go to second and third. So it'll be a single and a 6th error of the night for El Dorado. One of those nights, Gary. So a single and an E9. Crowell goes to third. Johnson scores. He'll get an RBI for Arnold. And Justin Marino up there, 16-6. Boy, Gary, here's the first pitch, and that bounces in and up by 10. The runners aren't going to advance right now. Well, we've been bragging on the how the fielding percentage, Gary, has gone just way up. Yeah. But tonight is going to put a big dent into that, I think. 6 errors, 3 of them in the first inning. Here's the 1-0 and high 2-0. Justin Marino is 1 for 5 tonight. Runners at second and third. And a bouncer to second base. That'll score a run. Sheets will throw over to first to retire Marino. And it's 17-6. Moving to third was Sean Arnold. Well, we've had some long innings tonight. 10 Liberal batters batted in the first. 8 came up in the sixth. 7 of them in the fourth. This is the 8th batter here in the 9th. There have been some long innings. Just interesting when you get done with a 3-game series, you look back at it. An 8-7 barn burner here Monday night. There's a bouncer to third. Sorensen takes it on the short hop, throws over to first, but it was called foul. Foul ball. And then what a pitching battle last night. Mentioned Liberals relievers going 7 no-hit innings against El Dorado. But don't take away 6 strong innings from Avery Riedmiller, gave up 1 run. Rustin Hayes went 5 innings, gave up 1 run. And then faltered in the 12th. Had chances to win in the 10th and the 11th. Here's the 1-2 in the turf, 2-2. And then you get to tonight and just walks, errors, and power from Liberal. And don't forget, sprinkle in some really sparkling defensive plays. Foul ball there. In a 17-6 game, you're going to look a lot at the offensive numbers, but I'll tell you what, the outfielders cut short some innings by making some diving catches. Their infielder's been solid, just 1 error tonight for Liberal. And that pitch in there for strike 3. 4-run score for the BeeJays here in the 9th. They had 3 hits. There was 1 error. And we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Liberal 17, El Dorado 6. New pitcher, Channy Ortiz for the BeeJays, and Connor Allen gets his first at bat of the night for El Dorado. Looks at strike one, whiffles one down the left field line and foul. He hit that one solid, but out in front. So quickly 0-2. And that one fouled off of the leg of Allen. That one bit him. The umpire said it's an out, but that clearly hit, I thought, Connor Allen. It didn't. So the base umpire who didn't have a, did he have a good look at it from down there? 17-6 our score. 17 runs, 16 hits for Liberal, 1 error. 6 runs, 7 hits, and 6 errors for the Broncos tonight. This is a long discussion about, I'm not sure what. And they call it a foul ball. I mean, really, isn't that conversation, hey, did you see it hit it? Did he foul it off his foot? Did you see it? Yes or no? I don't know what else that conversation could have been. Allen might have had to get a new piece of lumber too. I'm not sure. Didn't sound quite right. If anyone wants to send some wood bats to the Broncos, I'll take it. Ortiz with a fastball down the middle and strike 3. And Jarrett Coyne is going to hit for Tanner Sheets. Sheets was 2 for 4. Jarrett Coyne will get an at bat here tonight. Tomorrow's an off day. And after these 3 games and a 1-5 stretch against Hayes and Liberal, a much needed day off. And hopefully a chance to get healthy against Oklahoma City when they come in. The Broncos swept a doubleheader from them after losing a 9-inning game to them. They won 2 7-inning games against OKC. Coyne quickly behind 0-2. And the pitch. And that sounded like a broken bat. Gloved over at third by Crowell over to first, and that's a second out. Unlike Channy Ortiz pitched maybe this past weekend against the Cannons, this is his first league action. I don't have any numbers. Swing and a miss from John Sorensen, who homered way back in the second inning. Ortiz is just whistling strikes in there, and just as Gary says that, we get a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Last night we played 12 innings in 2 hours and 44 minutes, and tonight we're going to get 9 innings in, probably a little bit under than that, just a little bit. Shows you how quick last night. We played 9 innings in 2 hours last night, but we were tied and played 3 more. Sorensen puts a charge into one out to right center field, and gone. Sorensen, his second homer of the night. Tell you what, Gary, John Sorensen seems to be getting that groove again with that swing. Beautiful left-handed swing. There's just something about a lefty when they're up there and they swing it. I don't know why. So it's 17-7. A lot of home runs tonight. Seems like we've had as many go over the wall out there, and then we've had foul, which is rare. Maddox Solomon, and a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a foul tip into the catcher's glove, 1-2. The BeeJays are a strike away from a 3-game sweep here in El Dorado. Ooh. The 1-2 and fouled out of play. Well, this may be reaching, but again, if that Monday game goes different and maybe the Broncos win it, you just don't know. Gary and I kind of had a feeling after two really heartbreaking losses for El Dorado, this might be on the way. Solomon struck it well, but right at the center fielder, Simon, I should say, and that is the third out and the end of the game. And Liberal, with a 6-run first inning on just 2 hits, they were cruising from that point on, playing very free and easy tonight. Defense was good, pitching was good enough. And 17 runs, 16 hits, 1 error for Liberal. 7 runs, 7 hits, 6 errors for El Dorado. The winning pitcher tonight is Peyton Bauer, and the losing pitcher, Brady Tackett. Time of tonight's game, 2 hours and 39 minutes. Well, in this key 6-game stretch, the Broncos go 1-5. Their only win Sunday night over Hayes. Day off tomorrow. We're back on the air with you on Friday. Oklahoma City will be in town for the first of 3. Hope you will join us for that. Until then, have a great rest of your Wednesday, everybody. Kurt Caden bidding you good night from El Dorado.